From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reported tonight,
Bimbo Oloide.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Boko Haram leader releases video showing young girls believed to be Chibok abductees, demands exchange of missing girls for his captured fighters. Federal government rejects conditions for release of schoolgirls, describes it as absurd. Department of State Security, DSS, declares 2 masterminds of Nyanya bombing wanted, also parades 5 arrested suspects. And top female politician in Spanish city of Leon shot dead.
On business news tonight, some capital market experts advocate better corporate governance culture within the system.
And on sports news tonight, it's game set as preliminaries round of Channels National Kids Cup begins tomorrow in Lagos.
We start off tonight with what seems to be a breakthrough for the Department of State Security, the DSS, following the parade of 5 men said to be behind the April 14th Nyanya bombing. The DSS has also declared wanted one Rufai Abubakar Siga and Aminu Sadiq Oguche for allegedly masterminding the bombing. The service has in addition announced a reward of 25 million naira for anybody with useful information on their whereabouts. Those arrested are Ahmad Rufai Abubakar, Muhammadu Sani Ishaq, Adamu Yusuf, Yeo Seidu, and Anas Issa.
April 14th, 2014, a day many Nigerians would never forget. A bomb went off during morning rush hour at Nyanya Motor Park, Abuja, killing 75 people, injuring several others. Security officials immediately swung into action, promising to get those behind the attack. But 17 days later, another deadly explosion hit the same area, this time killing at least 19 people and injuring over 60 people. Thunder has struck the same spot twice. But some ray of light seems to have appeared in the ongoing investigation by the country's security personnel. The Department of State Service says it has arrested 5 suspected masterminds of the Nyanya bomb attacks.
In the night of 13th April 2014, Rufai Abubakar Siga and Mohammed Sani Ishaq moved the vehicle laden with explosives to the Nyanya Motor Park. In the morning of 14th April 2014, Rufai Abubakar Siga moved the explosive-laden vehicle to the position where he detonated the explosives. Mohammed Sani Ishaq, who took part with Rufai Abubakar Siga in positioning the explosive-laden vehicles that exploded at the Nyanya Park, killing scores of Nigerians, is in the custody of this service. Although 5 persons who are privy to the bombing incidents have been taken into custody, there are Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, Mohammed Sani Ishaq, Yeo Seidu, Anas Issa, and Adamu Yusuf.
2 key people involved in the attack are still at large.
Rufai Abubakar Siga and Aminu Sadiq Oguche are currently at large and are hereby declared wanted. The sum of 25 million naira is hereby announced as reward for anybody with useful information on their whereabouts.
The DSS spokesperson, Marilyn Oga, said terrorists are disguising daily by taking up various business and menial jobs in the FCT. She asked Nigerians to be vigilant and collaborate with law enforcement agencies to fight terrorism.
Chilling footage was released today by the French news agency AFP, purportedly showing images of the schoolgirls kidnapped by the Boko Haram sect. The terror group says that many of them have been converted from Christianity to Islam while being held, and all those on the footage are wearing headscarves. The group's leader said that it will release them in exchange for militant prisoners being freed.
This is the latest video of some of the abducted students of the government girls' secondary school Chibok, Borno State, said to have been released by the Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau. Shot in an unidentified location, the footage shows most of the girls dressed in black and grey Muslim hijab, reciting verses from the Quran, which literally means, "Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the universe." That done, 3 of the girls were called out to renounce their faith and declare for Islam.
Dalilin da aka yi mana bayani dai akan Kristanci, abun kiɗe-kiɗe, hanyar da muke ciki.
I became a Muslim because Islam preaches peace and is the right way. Christianity and all it stands for is not the right religion because it does not glorify God.
Islam is pure and it's the religion that is universal. I'm appealing to my people back home to embrace Islam, which is the way to the salvation of mankind.
I'm a Muslim by birth, and my parents too are Muslims. Contrary to what we were told, this group has shown us love and care since we came here, and I want other women to join us.
This is the first time the girls will be seen since their abduction last month, and reports say the sect is willing to use the girls as bargaining instruments for the release of their imprisoned members.
The federal government has, however, rejected conditions set out by Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau for the release of more than 200 schoolgirls held hostage by the Islamists. Interior Minister Abba Moro says the issue in question is not about Boko Haram giving conditions. He described the sect's demand for a swap as absurd. The International Crisis Group said in a report published last month that Boko Haram had written an open letter in 2011 to the governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, demanding the release of detainees. Shekau repeated the demand in a video released last week, claiming responsibility for the mass kidnapping that has sparked global condemnation and calls for action. Well, some agencies of government are not ruling out the possibility of entering a negotiation with Boko Haram to secure the release of the abducted schoolgirls. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Mr. Michael Mary, said the federal government is studying a video purportedly from the sect showing the Chibok schoolgirls. Director Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, added that the military is carrying out surveillance of the area and offering intelligence support to the Joint Task Force in the Northeast. Major General Olukolade also presented a video of the military surveillance of the area.
Government is reviewing the content of the video and the accompanying statement issued by the sect. The government of Nigeria will continue to explore all options for the release and safe return of our girls back to their respective homes. An earlier report by a section of the media purported to have been issued by government is totally false. This remains the official position of the federal government of Nigeria. Every aspect of the operation is ongoing, but specifically for this research, it has assumed an increased dimension. You might have heard that since this incident started, as at the last count, we have had over 250 sorties. That itself is devoted purely to research. It's highly complementary to other elements of air aspect of the operation.
In the meantime, the governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, claims he has information on the whereabouts of about 200 schoolgirls kidnapped by Islamist group Boko Haram. In an interview with the BBC, Governor Shettima said he has passed reports of the sightings of the girls to the military for verification. Mr. Shettima adds that he does not think the girls have been taken across the border to Chad or Cameroon.
News about the missing girls has to do with the fact that we got reports of them being sighted in some locations, which we have conveyed to the relevant military authorities for them to really cross-check, verify, and get additional information on the actual location.
Human rights activist Femi Falana has dismissed the call by members of the Boko Haram sect for the exchange of schoolgirls for detained members of the sect. Falana, who attended a meeting organized by the protesters calling for the release of some schoolgirls in Abuja, asked the federal government to reject the sect's demands. He asked the protesters not to succumb to any form of harassment from security agencies to stop their protest.
Undeterred by harassment from security officials recently, these Nigerians gathered again to demand the rescue of schoolgirls abducted 28 days ago. First of all, they were advised not to be cowed by any intimidation, but keep up with the demand to rescue the abducted girls.
The only movement that we recognize is the movement of our daughters into the safe and secure homes and the arms of their parents. Is that not so? Yes. That is why we continue to come. And we made the resolve that we will stand with our girls and we shall continue to stand. What are we demanding? Bring back our girls now and alive. What are we asking? Bring back our girls now and alive.
Lending their voices to the exchange of the abducted girls for some members of the terrorist group in various prisons, these campaigners ask the federal government to disregard the call. They are also optimistic that their demand is yielding positive results after all.
The children are not prisoners, so there is no basis to demand that they be exchanging, traded off. You can't trade off the liberty of innocent people. It's a different matter. If they have arrested some Nigerian soldiers and they want the government to trade off, but for heaven's sake, these children must be released unconditionally, and that is why the prayer must be intensified.
Even though our girls are not yet back, we are getting closer to getting them back, and for me that's quite exciting. For this group of people that we know, they don't do this. They don't get to this point where they have to publicly come out to say that give us this in exchange for this. So yeah, we are beginning to make a lot of progress. There's the pressure that we really want to achieve. We are beginning to achieve it.
The campaign for the safe return of the schoolgirls continues as members of this group plan to take their protest to the Borno State Governor's Lodge in Abuja to press home their demand.
In part two, after the break, France proposes African Security Summit. That's in a moment. Do stay with us.